and welcome to a special edition of All the Stitches. My name is Colleen and I'm coming to you from the Lakes region of New Hampshire in the United States. Today is episode 45 and Flosstube number 14. Today's a little different. I'm going to be showing you a couple of finishes, but mostly works in progress, and most of the video is different short videos that I've taken throughout the month of December. Today, as I'm filming this right here, it is December 20th, and this will be my last chance to record before the first of the year. So let me get to it. The most important thing I wanted to mention was a big thank you to Sarah from Sarah's Stitchy Spot. And if you are the one or two people in the world that do not watch Sarah, please check out Sarah's Stitchy Spot on YouTube, because not only is she a fabulous stitcher, but she is a lovely, sweet, kind human being and so much fun to watch. Sarah mentioned this floss tube and showed one of my projects in her last video, and as a result, I have several new subscribers, so I thank Sarah for that, and I thank you and welcome to all the new subscribers. I hope you see something that you enjoy. Thank you to all of my subscribers. I appreciate you coming back for more. So I'm going to get started today, and I'm going to start with a finished FFO, a fully finished object. And some of you, if you've been watching me from the beginning of Flosstube, you may remember the cross-stitch piece I mentioned that I couldn't show you. It was my very first 32 count on linen, and it was made as a gift for a friend. So the gift has been given, it's been opened, so now I'm going to show you. And I'll put it up here on the screen. It is Fleece on Earth, and it's from Luminous Fiber Arts. As I said, it was my very first 32 count linen, and it sort of broke the ceiling for me. And ever since then, I've challenged myself more and more. I used a 32 count Country Vintage Mocha, and called for colors. And I made a flat fold. My next finish is actually a refinish, and it is this 1987 Prairie Schooler Santa that I refinished into a pillow. And you will see later in this video I included this in a segment when I talk about why I refinished it. So you'll see more about this later. I'm going to move on quickly to my works in progress. And here is the first. It's funny that I thought that I would work on this occasionally during the month of December, but I find myself focusing on this. It's the Vintage Christmas Sampler from It's So Emma. Here is how far I've come. I basically find myself working on this in the evenings, because it's easy and it's so cute. I mean, can you even stand it? It's so cute. It's so much cuter than I thought it would be. And I was going to stick with stitching one every other day or weekends or whatever, but instead I just can't. I just keep going for it. It's just so darn cute. I decided to use a 14 count vintage cloth in Oatmeal, and these are all the called for Aurifloss threads. The next work in progress is in my bag that I made especially for it. I kind of threw this bag together. I didn't even want to bother with zippers, so I put cam snaps in. This is Santa Stops Here by Brenda Gervais. This was last year's popular favorite, but Is it my favorite? I don't know. This was going to be my focus piece, and I guess it is. I struggled with it first because I had a piece of 36 count Winter's Brew that it called for, but I found I really was struggling with 36 count. So I abandoned that. I'll put that aside and challenge myself with that later. Then I went searching for Winter's Brew in a larger count fabric. The only one, apparently it's coveted, and the only one I found was a 28 count. So when I got that, I was not happy with it. It's very crunchy, you know, it's a crunchy linen, and it's gauzy. But to look at it, it looks absolutely fine, doesn't it? I've gotten used to it, and it's softened up a little bit. But let me tell you the fun times I've had with this and why it's not progressed any further than this. I took the top border. This is a simple border, folks. I took the top border out, I think 4 times. And this is only half the border. This is the full border vertically and half the border horizontally. I finished the roof last night. I came to realize that I did the chimney wrong. One chimney is correct. I think this one's correct and this one's wrong. I'm not even going to get into it. There's so many problems with it. I ended up stitching an extra row of roof, and I did it to compensate for the fact that my chimneys are 1 row short, both of them. Every time I think about taking stitches out and trying to get it back to the way it's supposed to be, it gives me a headache. So I'm going to try to work around it and just do the best I can with it. And I think it's fine. I don't know. In order to take those chimneys out and redo, I would have to take the whole thing. It's just because of the way I stitched it. I outlined it and then filled in, and I did kind of crazy loopy ways into the chimney, and it would have to be, I would basically have to take the whole thing out, or at least half of it, and I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to work around it. But once I made all those mistakes, I've really started to enjoy it. And I'm glad of that because I love this chart. It's really a beautiful design. And I'm going to keep going with it. I'll work on this every day through the first of the year, and then I might change up my my focus stitch to something wintry, and then just work on this the 25th of every month. But that's my story of the of the Sandra Stubbs here. But I was thinking last night how, I don't know, you keep coming back to watch, many of you, and yet when I watch other people's floss tubes, and I've been watching a lot of, especially at Christmas, I love the Flossmas and the Vlogmas, the knitting videos and all that. So I think, my gosh, look at these women are so together. They're so put together. Look at, they have beautiful hair and beautiful makeup, and their homes are gorgeous and clutter-free. And they make beautiful meals, nutritious and gorgeous meals for their families every night. And they have perfect children and perfect pets. Their stitching is perfect. Their knitting is perfect. Their lives are so perfect. And I know it's not true. But but they sure look all put together. So meanwhile, I sit here saying, oh, what should I cover up in my camera angle? What mess should I cover for my camera angle? And there's nothing perfect here. And I'll tell you all about my mistakes and be happy to tell you about them. But that's just the way it is. That's what you get when you come here. And I was thinking to myself, sometimes I watch those people that appear to be so perfect, and I don't feel that good about myself when I see that. And so I'm doing you this big favor of, when you watch me, you can feel really good about yourself, because I probably make more mistakes than you. I have more clutter and everything else. So anyway, I digress. Okay, folks, so now I'll get serious. So what I'm going to do next is run some of the videos that I've taken earlier in the month, and the things were, they were taken over several different days. And you'll see the advents that I've been opening. I had an advent exchange with friends. That's just a wonderful thing to do. I recommend it highly if you can do it. You'll see Pete the dog in action. You will see our visit to a tree farm, and you'll see some of the Christmas decorating. And then when the videos are over, I'll come right back here and talk to you about something else. I'm beginning to think of this part of my studio as my Advent opening station, because for the last few years I've had some Advents to open every day in the month of December. And this year I have done two. I did not do any yarn Advents, which are usually, as knitters will know, little mini skeins of yarns. The reason I didn't is you might be able to see this box, this set of boxes. Most of those are filled with Advent minis from prior years, so I think I have quite enough. But today I'm going to show you just today's gifts as I try to open them one-handed. Well, the first thing is from Colorado Cross Stitcher. I got for the second year. They didn't come in this box. I had this little shaker box. So I'm going to open that. I'm not going to show you what I've opened already, but I'll show it probably in the January video. And the best thing of all, some very dear friends, we've been for the last few years exchanging Advent gifts. And this year, there's my pile to be opened. So I'm going to pick one. Oh boy. The number 5 is for Sweet Pete. So my dog Pete got something today. So let's try to do this with one hand. Oh, look, it looks like a little crocheted scarf for Pete. Oh, that's so cute, my friend. Thank you. I could wear it as well, I think. It's very cute. Nice little knitted or crocheted bandana for Pete. And here's my Colorado cross stitch for today. If you don't want to know what day 5 is, please look away. And I called it 12 Days of Advent, but it's 12 Days of Christmas box that she produces. Oh, nice. She does some lovely patterns. This is Grow. Words for Home by Colorado Cross Stitch. Wonderful. So I'll just show you the gifts from my friends. This is some lovely fabric. It's really pretty. This I opened yesterday. It was a beautiful little zippered bag made by Ellie of Craft House Magic. It's really pretty. I didn't even know Ellie sold bags like this. And it came with a matching beautiful skein of mini skein. And Ellie's so lovely. When my friend who's not a knitter got in touch with her and asked her if for some suggestions of what she could get for me, apparently Ellie said to her, well, she would look up my orders, my past orders, and pick something. So, sweet Ellie, thank you, my dear friend Rita, and thank you, Ellie. Speaking of Rita, Rita made this the day one. I don't know how you go up from here. I don't know. But day one was filled with all sorts of goodies that are now in this bag here. And Rita made this, and she does such beautiful work. It's a knitting bag, a yarn bag, but really, I'll use it for anything. Look at the detail. Beautiful. I'm going to bring you now to my sewing area where my machine is. My book of days. I haven't talked about this this year, and I really have been doing quite a bit of work with it. Maybe August not so much, but I've had a lot of fun with it. I think I'll talk about that at the end of the year or in January. I've started, I have a few things going on here, and let me just give you a quick rundown. I have a lot of threads to put away, but other than that, this was an old, I think it's 1987, and I heard recently that this is the first Prairie Schooler Santa. I don't know if that's true, but it seems about right. It may have also been the first counter cross stitch I did. But I had it framed. It was looking so old and dingy and yellow. I finally decided to do something about it. So I took it out of the frame. And boy, I'm glad I did. Folks, watch out for those sticky boards, because the whole back of this was just coated with a thick layer of the sticky glue that came up from it, and I couldn't peel it off. So I used that restoration powder that I've gotten from the Stitchy online, and I soaked it for a few hours, and I was able to peel off just in one piece that whole sticky back, and then I let it continue to soak. So it took a lot of the yellow out. I'm going to refinish this and make it into a little pillow ornament type of thing. I think I'm going to use this fabric around it in the back. And I finished my Blackbird, my Blackbird freebie, it's called, from Pinterest. I found it on Pinterest. I just finished that last night. This was my Black Sampler November project, but here I am on December 5th. It carried over into December, so I just wanted to get that done. I do love that. It's simple, but I like it a lot. Excuse the mess. But here's where I tend to stack up projects that I want to get started, or certainly start looking at and figure out what I want to do next, or what I want to do into the new year. So I'm not going to go through all that, but at this point, but let me show you what is going on here. I started my quilt. I started the seasonal stitches from Temecula Quilt Company. This is a small annual quilt pattern that she puts out. This one's only 24.5 by 28.5. And I got a real late start, but I did start this around December 3rd or so. And, I don't know that I'm planning to get it done in December, but I am going to give it a good try. I have some of the pieces cut out. I have some simple blocks made. Just some of the simple 4 patches. Yesterday I sewed all these little half square triangles. and I need to trim these into 1.5 inch squares. So I'm going to do that today. My husband is gone for the day. He does consulting work, so I have to deal with Pete all day. And so I'm planning to bring this stack of fabrics down stairs, and I'm just going to start cutting. I can't really sit up here and sew with Pete around, but I'm going to cut a bunch of them. You can see the blocks are really fairly easy. So I'm going to try to cut as many blocks and get them ready to stitch together. And that's my plan for today. Here's Pete. What you doing, Pete? Sitting in your little dry spot? You gonna eat all the snow? He's still a puppy at heart. Oh, it's hard snow. I can't throw your snowballs. Uh-oh. Zooms. There he goes. Oh, that's all right. Oh, you have a toy. Yeah. Was that a good zoom? He's a lot of dog, isn't he? You hear somebody's construction. Good boy. Not what we expected when we came to pick out a Christmas tree. Last year was freezing. That's New England for you. I am jumping ahead to December 13th and showing you my Advent gifts received up to date, as well as the mess on my table. Just ignore that. But there's a few things I want to show you. So we're over halfway through with our Advent season, and it has been so exciting. I showed you the beautiful, beautiful bag, knitting yarn bag with the cross-stitch front. There may or may not have been more chocolate in here. We won't say. I showed you the little yarn mini. I got some delicious licorice pipes, and if you're a fan of the Gamache series, book series by Louise Penny, you know why that is significant, as well as this 3 Pines mug, which I love. Delicious caramels they've been interspersed with different gifts. Red Kite candy. If you're a fan of caramels, Red Kite candy is in New Hampshire, and they mail. Check it out. They're so good. Here's the crochet bandana for Pete. The zipper project bag, which is lovely. Lovely chunk of beeswax. Some beautiful yarn from Craft House Magic. This bag that my dear friend made. Some fabric that keeps showing up as I open gifts. Look at this beautiful, beautiful bag. It's Teresa Kogut fabric, which I love, and the 3 Pines. Do you see a series? Or a theme, I should say. That's beautiful. And I want to show you this. Oh, here's a needle minder. And look at this. Looks like a lovely pot of flowers, doesn't it? You open it up, and they are beautiful crocheted coasters. Close them up, put them back in the pot. And actually, I love this so much, I may just leave this like this Look at that. That's so cute. These are made by someone that my friend's daughter knows. Abby Crochet 58. Here's the card if you want to take a screenshot. A lot of lovely crocheted items, and including that dog bandana. But I thought this was really special. I'm going to move over here to something else I've been wanting to show you. So I cheated. I had some yarn, sock yarn, spun into tubes. You know, they use a sock machine to knit up a tube. So I had her knit up 6 skeins of yarn. This is really because I'm still not able to knit without too much hand pain. So I thought maybe if I get these all wound up, and then I can just cut heels and toes and cuffs into them. At some point, that won't be quite so hard. That's what I'm hoping I can do. So I won't go through the yarns, but I'll just show you briefly. Oh, that's a long one. Oh, that's really long. Here's a stripe. I would usually do an Advent stripe a day sock every year, but I can't do it this year. I feel like I've missed something in here, but I can't really see it through the lens. But I'll be showing you those at some point. I'll have to cut them apart. She just did them all in one. And then with waste yarn in between them. So I'll cut them apart and get them ready. But I thought that would be a fun thing to do. Here's the progress on my what's going on here with my sewing machine, which isn't much, I have to say. I did take that 1987 Prairie Schooler piece apart, as I told you, and I've gone as far as just sewing it into a pillow, so I have to stuff that. I showed you my blackbird freebie. Here I worked a little bit on my wool applique Santa. I have to finish him up. I worked a little bit on this quilt. Basically, I am really trying to just prep it as much as possible. So I have a bunch of half square triangles sewn. I think I may have shown you this. I don't want to keep repeating. I have some simple 4 patches sewn, but I also spent a day cutting out blocks just so that I can be ready to sit down and sew. And I remembered an idea that my friend Diana told me about a long time ago. She used to do this, and I thought it was great for this. So I have these little photo albums, and I started cutting out the pieces of each block and putting them in a page, and I labeled them with block 1, block 2, so forth. And Diana, this is genius. For this project, it's perfect. So I have 5 blocks all cut out, plus some others, some sort of filler blocks. And so hopefully I can get back to this soon, but I am on the way. Another thing I wanted to show you, sorry I'm moving you around a lot, is this lovely, lovely card I got. I don't really want to show people's addresses, so I'm moving things around here. From one of the lovely people that won from my giveaway last couple videos ago, my autumn giveaway. She sent me this gorgeous handmade card. And this is from Kathleen. That's her little handmade by Kathleen. And she enclosed these lovely scissor fobs or project bag zipper pulls. I'm not good at looking through the viewfinder and doing things at the same time with this needle threader, which is great because I use those. So that was so lovely and unexpected. Thank you so much. And also thank you to my dear friend, you know who you are, giving me and picking out and making all those beautiful advent gifts. Okay, I'm back. I hope you enjoyed all that. The one thing I wanted to talk to you about before I go is, has anyone else been working with their book of days or anything, any similar journal type thing this year for their stitching? Because when I see people journaling or, just keeping these lovely little books and things, I think, oh, I love that, and I will never do it. But I was given a book of days by one of my dear friends last year, and I thought, oh, I love these, and I've seen them, and I really want to do it, but well, I don't know if I'll keep it up. Well, guess what? January. I love on the snowy days, I put little snowflakes in, and I'm just going to show you a few little things that I do. February. I've been putting stickers in. I have one of those little Zing printers, I think made by Kodak. And what I did for sometimes, some months I couldn't fit them in, but at the end of the month, I would take a picture of my current project and put it in the book so that I could see where I left off that month. It's really just for fun. There's no purpose to it at all. But I have really enjoyed it in March, and I try to color coordinate the colors for the month with the month. So, of course, March had to be green. March was, we probably had a lot of bad weather because I did a lot. I don't track my, what I stitch every day because I generally know that you know, what I'm working on. I might only work on a couple of things during the month, but I will put in the date I start something and the day I finish so that I can make a note of it. And also I can put in pictures of the finished objects. Let me just show you a couple of things here. It's pretty much the same. At one point I decided I would track, here is June, I decided I would track on this side goals for the month, starts and finishes. And I really enjoy that. Putting in the goals I find has been very helpful. Let's see. Now it's funny because I can see in July, oh, it was Pete's birthday in July. In July and August I kind of didn't put too much in. And so on. I don't think there's anything else of great interest. Here's my current month. I haven't been very good at keeping it up, but sometimes I go in afterwards and I add a few things. So the other thing I did was I tied in some pages in the back so that I could put in photos of my finishes. And I generally try to put only fully finished objects back here, but it's been a great way to see, like, oh, I really have accomplished something this year. And I really like the idea. I have accomplished something this year. That's the first. And I track knitting finishes, quilting finishes, and needlework and whatever else I'm doing. So all that is to say, not to say, oh, look what I've done. It's that I had a couple of ideas here. I believe it was Colorado Cross Stitcher that came out with this in the middle of the year or so, a cross stitch planner. Now, whereas that book of days is really lovely and it has a lot of text already in it and quotes and things and artwork, this one is more plain. And I don't know if it's available anymore, but it's from this person, My Crazy Life. But you can see that it has a lot of white space. Now this would have been scary for someone like me who didn't think I'd be able to fill it. So I kind of like that idea. And it also has some charts in it. Oops, probably shouldn't have shown that. You didn't see that. And it has a place in the back for retreats, which I haven't been to one yet. Have you? Shopping, packing for retreats. Table friends. Stitchy kindness. Graph paper. But if you go to a lot of retreats, I think you can track what you did that day or whatever. So I do like the plainness of the pages here, and I think I'm going to use this a lot. So I bought this, and then Sherry from Colorado Cross Stitcher came out with something else, and then I was really torn. She came out with the 2024 Book of Days, but it's an enhanced copy. And see, it has a plastic cover to keep it nice and neat. She put it in she had it rebound, so it's easy to work with. And the other thing she added, I like this idea a lot. I like what she did. In the back, she added several blank pages. Well, there's probably 4 or 5 of them that are all cardstock. And I really liked this. But I sure can't use 2. So I gave this some thought, and it was kind of eeny, meeny, miny, moe, which one should I let go? And I rhymed. And I've decided to let go of the Book of Days. And So who better to let it go to but one of you? So I'd like to give this away to one of you, and just as a little holiday gift, New Year's gift, and a way to say thank you to you all for coming back to me and for joining new. So anyway, here's what you have to do. You know all the rules, but leave a comment below if you want this enhanced book of days. Leave a comment below and use the word calendar, okay? Make sure you use the word calendar. I don't even care if you put it in a sentence. Just put the word calendar in there. If you want to tell me something else and then just throw the word calendar in, that's fine too. But either way, put the word calendar in so I know that you want this book. And then I will draw a name from that after the first of the year. I'll try to do my next video as soon after the first of the year as I can, so that you can get your hands on this and get working on it for January. And I will draw your name. Make sure all the things that you usually do, that you are 18 years of age or older, so that I can ask you for your address and not get arrested. And please be a subscriber of this channel in order to enter for the giveaway. Just as a courtesy to me, to everyone else who is a subscriber. And also, of course, don't say the word giveaway in your comment or anything like that. That would make weirdos come and steal it away from one of you. So with that, I will say that I wish you all a very Merry Christmas and a very happy whatever you celebrate, and a wonderful New Year. And I'll see you after the first of the year with more stitching. And until then, I hope all of your stitches bring joy.